welcome back to the Elyse DeLucci Show. We are here with episode 76. I feel like we haven't spoken in such a long time. I'm sorry. I had my kids in the Hamptons this last past week. That was a fucking nightmare. We'll get into it. Anyway, fact of the day. The world's richest parish, the world's richest church, individual church parish, is right here in Manhattan. It's valued at $2 billion. Trinity Church downtown. Can you believe that? This church, it was established in 1696. It owns 14 acres of lands in Manhattan. I feel like that's like the whole of the city. And they get a net income of $38 million a year in real estate holdings. Is that not crazy? I mean, and here, you go to mass and you stuff a couple of bucks in the envelope, and it's like, people are billionaires. Anyway, I was thinking a lot about real estate and just things around the city and old buildings and stuff, because I went to the Tenement Museum, which I love. If you've never been to the Tenement Museum, you have to go. It's downtown, and it's a small little museum, but it's dedicated to the old tenement apartments, at the turn of the century. All the Italians and the Jews and Irish and Polish that came to this country, and obviously they were living in these tenement apartments, and the tenements are, they're walk-up buildings, and, they're railroad-style apartments, and they're very small. They're like 350 square feet, 300 square feet, and, families of 4, 5, 6, 7 would all cram into this tiny apartment. And on a floor, maybe there would be, on an apartment floor, maybe there would be like 5, 6 apartments. Anyway, it's the best place. I've been there before. I totally recommend it. And we went specifically to go see the tenement apartment. It was owned by an Italian family, the Baldizis, and the Tenement Museum basically recreated this apartment that the family had. It was their actual apartment in the early 30s. And, and it's like a tour of how it was set up and how they lived and what the mother did to make money and what the father did to make money. And then they gave a little neighborhood walking tour. And it was it was just so good. And the last time I went to the Tenement Museum was about 10 years ago. So I was happy to go. I totally recommend it. And it's funny, those tenement apartments, like, it's such a claustrophobic indoor existence when you live there. I mean, basically, the Baldizzi family, we walked into the apartment, railroad. So you walked in and it was the kitchen, and then, and also the dining room, to the kitchen and dining room, right? And it was very, very small. And that was also the bathroom. In tenements, the bathroom, the tub is in, I shouldn't say the bathroom. The tub is in the kitchen. The bathroom's in the hallway. And then so that you walk in, you're in this tiny little kitchen, whatever it is, 12 by 12 maybe. And then to the right is a small little bedroom that the two kids shared. And then to the left is the larger bedroom that the parents would share. And the parents in this apartment, the Baldizis, they had like a full-size bed or whatever it was, and then they would fold it up, push it up against the wall, so there was more room for the family more space for the family to live during the day, because the parents' bedroom also doubled as the living room. And it was just crazy. What was interesting to me about the family and being on this tour is that the father, when they came over from Italy, the father was a handyman, a woodworker, but he couldn't really find work. And the mother of the family, she went to work as a garment worker, and she actually supported the family. So the father every day would go door to door, knock around for work with his, wooden toolbox in the hand, and the mother worked to support the family. And it's just so interesting. And look at that, people. Even during the Depression in the 30s, who was pushing the family? The women. Thank you. And she probably came home and made a whole meal, too, on top of that. All right, Mrs. Baldizzi, go you. Go you. I don't even know if you remember, by the way. They didn't mention it in the tour, but it did remind me of, do you remember in well, do you remember? As if there was a huge fire at one of these factories that these women worked at. It was called the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. That's a building down in Greenwich Village. It's still around, by the way. Now NYU owns it. But it happened in 1911, and it was this terrible building, an industrial disaster, one of the biggest in the history of Manhattan. And basically, there was a fire. I think one of the garment workers smoked a cigarette and put it out in the garbage, and there was this huge, crazy fire, and 145 people died, and people were jumping out of the windows to plummeting to their deaths on the floor in the city. And the reason why a lot of people died is because the owner of this the factory, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, the owner of that factory locked the doors of the hallways and everything for when the workers were on shift. They wouldn't, be distracted and try to leave or whatever. So basically he locked them in, and then there was this fire and nobody was able to get out. Anyway, 123 women died in that fire. Famous thing, you should look it up. Really, really sad, but if you ever want to see the building, it's on Washington Place. It's sort of near Washington Square Park. It's called the Triangle Shirtwaist Building. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, not like, what am I, a historian over here? I just, I really love old things, and I love architecture, and I'm so interested in how people lived in their life, especially at that time, especially, like our ancestors, the Italian people, blah, blah, blah. Go, was what I'm telling you. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. They should sponsor me. Really, that was just a beautiful advertisement for the Tenement Museum. Thank you. Also, you know what I watched on TV? The Jackie Collins documentary. It was either on Netflix or Amazon. Jackie Collins, dirty novelist. She died, but Joan Collins' sister, such an interesting story. She was like the ugly duckling. Apparently, she thought she wasn't. She was gorgeous, but she was the ugly duckling. She felt compared to her sister Joan. And it was her life story on how she became this, sort of like trashy chick lit, novelist, a sort of pioneer in that space, and obviously British, and how she sort of developed this outside persona, like the blazers and the big hair and the leopard shirts and the earrings, and it was just very interesting, all about her life and her loves. And Joan Collins is obviously on the majority of the, talking throughout the movie about her sister, and a good recommendation, very good recommendation. I was so insulted the other day, okay, when I went to the eyebrow lady, and she asked me if I also want my mustache done. I mean, what? Do these people even, have any decorum? I mean, really? I had to say to her, first of all, I don't have a mustache. Thank you. And if I do, can you not draw attention to it? I'm obviously trying to, keep that on the DL. I get my eyebrows threaded. I don't know about you. But, I get stuff lasered off, when need be. But, God, so pushy. What, you so desperate to make an extra $5? You want to wax the little baby hairs off the top of my lip? Get the hell out of here. So, my daughters, they're ridiculous. And they wanted to go on a vacation, Mommy. And, they, of course, wanted to go on a vacation that involved an airplane, to which I told them no. But so we wound up going to the Hamptons, and oh my God. Okay, first of all, I go out there every summer, whether it's Hamptons, proper or Montauk, whatever. I like it there, it's very expensive and it's posh and all that bullshit, but, all the Manhattan people are there. It's not exactly the best getaway from your neighbors, so to speak, but, I like it. The beaches are nice and all that. Anyway, so you're going to die. So, they were really giving me a hard time, these kids, right? Not about going away, just in general. Everything, because we live in an apartment, and everybody's hot, and everything's on top of each other, and the house had the toys everywhere. So I said last week, you want to know what? Forget it. Mommy's going to plan a last-minute vacation. Let's go. We'll go to the Hamptons, okay? We'll go for a few days. That's what we'll do. I look online. Hotel prices, ridiculous, okay? What I don't know who's getting $2,000 a night, but they do. So I found an Airbnb, and I've stayed at Airbnbs before, like with my ex-husband, who is an impeccable trip planner. I have to give him that. And, staying in the Airbnb with a man, when the safety of a man, it made me feel very comfortable. Or I felt safer. Staying in the Airbnb myself, nah. With the kids, nah. I just felt like, I don't know how comfortable I was. The whole thing was a disaster. It was a disaster. So we check into this Airbnb, and it was off Montauk Highway, and it was a house, but it, air quotes, they have on Airbnb, do you want to have the entire place to yourself? Of course I do. What do you think? I'm going to rent a room? No, I'm not doing that. So I want the whole place to myself. That's what I rent. It's a small little house, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, it's like practically like a studio, ranch sort of thing, and very small. And they cut this house up into 3 apartment units, right? So with front doors and everybody, whatever. So that's where we stayed. And everything was fine the first night. I didn't really like the place too much because it felt like a ranch house or almost like a prefab kind of house trailer looking thing. And they sliced it into these 3 apartments. And when you pulled into the driveway of where this house was, it was, there was no lights. It was pitch black, so coming back at night after dinner or ice cream, whatever, it freaked me out a bit. You never know who's lurking. People are like, you're in the Hamptons. Really, Elyse? I said, I don't care where I am. If I was a criminal, if I was a robber, I would be lurking in the woods of the Hamptons because I'd think robbing these people, they actually have something for me. Okay? Come on, really. Come on. Let's think normal here. So anyway, second day there, we go to Greenport, in the North Fork, to visit one of my friends. We have a nice day at the beach. We have dinner out there. Obviously, way more low key than East Hampton, which I like. I prefer. It's not as pretentious. I way like that. Way more my speed. Anywho, we get back to the shack we were renting. Sorry, I had to take a sip. And of seltzer. Unfortunately, not a scotch. So get back to the shack we rented. Power's out. Okay, power's out. No lights, no air conditioning, no lights in the bathroom, no TV. So now it's like 9 o'clock at night, right? I don't know, maybe this is Thursday night or something. And it's 90 degrees in this room. So I'm emailing the owner of the Airbnb on the Airbnb app, because that's what you have to do. They don't give you their phone number or whatever. So I'm emailing, I'm messaging the lady. And thank God she responded right away. I will give her that. She responds right away. But she didn't know what the problem was. And that's the thing with Airbnb. There's no hotel front desk to call. There's no maintenance people that could come up and fix this problem. She was basically like, find the breaker. It's next to the fridge. Flick everything on and off, which I did, whatever. And the net is that the whole place had an electrical short. And we had we couldn't move rooms or anything like that. We slept in this place for the night. The second night in 90-degree heat. It was horrible. The next morning, as kids do, wake up at 6:30 in the morning. They want to watch TV. I'm in bed with my earplugs on, and I have to, hear them not able to turn on the TV. So they're just harassing me at 6:30 in the morning, and I've had no sleep because I'm sweating and I'm sleeping with my 2 kids in the bed. It was a horror, a real horror. And the lady wound up, having an extra house, like next door, an extra room, whatever the hell I was staying in. And we stayed there, the next night for free. And it was a queen bed. And as the other one was like a king or something, and had 2 beds. And, God, it was just, so there we were, 3 people in the queen bed. My kids are kicking me. I got bruises all over the place. Middle of the night, I go sleep. There was a little tiny mini mid-century love seat in this room. I go sleep on it. I mean, I was horrified. I will say the lady gave me my money back on the trip, which was very nice of her. But I'm done with Airbnbs. I've had enough. I've seen enough, okay? And I don't know. I don't know if this is... I don't know if Airbnb is really my speed at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to go away and take the girls to a beach destination where we can go to the beach and have ice cream and be nicey nice, and feel like we're away and everything. But coming and having to sleep at a place that's so much worse than my apartment was not enjoyable. I once was on a vacation, and this lady, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and this lady said to me, she said, as you get older, you don't want to go away to places if it's not as nice as your house. And, as I get older, I am realizing that. Now, I don't have the beach here. I don't have all that kind of stuff here. But staying in a place that was shitty, but the trade-off was being out by the beach, fine. Of course, I'll do it. But staying in a place in 90-degree heat with no air conditioning, no maintenance people to call, no TV, and no lights in the bathroom, get the hell out of here. Keep your shitty place. I'm never going back. Ugh, it was just the whole thing. The whole thing, And then, of course, the lady, she has my name, and then she's looking me up online. She's like, I hope you don't, by the way, I hope you don't mind. I Googled you, I looked you up, and I'm like, oh, God, here we go. And then, of course, she's as sweet as pie, right? I don't know why, but she was so much sweeter then. It's like, you weren't that sweet about, 4 hours ago when I was telling you I need an update on my refund immediately. But then you go do your due diligence, find out maybe I have a little, traction with the pub, this very small percentage of public in the New York area, a.k.a. your clientele. Yeah, you should message me so I could tell you not to ever stay there. I mean, as nice as the girl was giving me the refund, and I know it's not her fault, she was in over her head. She told me she bought this place last year. She redid the whole place, everything rewired, re-electric, remodeled, and it's all very pretty when you walk in, but what's pretty if it doesn't freaking function, Anywho, we did go to nice restaurants, though, I will say that. We went to Gossman's in Montauk, which is really nice kid place. They have, like a lot of little shops and walking around, ice cream, the whole bit over there. We went to the Hideaway, also in Montauk, which was a Mexican restaurant in a marina. In Greenport, we went to a place called Billy's, which was like cheap, nice, good seafood, also in a marina. So we did have fun. We did. I don't want to paint a bad picture, but when we had no power and no AC, and we were trying to figure out, and we were waiting for like status from this lady on what is an electrician coming, what's to do. I wound up actually taking my kids to do their back to school shopping because that's what I need. I need to go take my kids to go back to school shopping in Bridgehampton. There was no stores for us in East Hampton. We drive to Bridgehampton, and there's a shopping center with Gap and Dunkin and Kmart and TJ and Staples. So we went there, and, I bought the supplies at Staples. Of course, but, Staples in Bridgehampton, you think I got any sales? No. I bought the freaking Ticonderoga pencils that they were on the list. $5 a box for these pencils. They needed like 5 boxes each. The damn nerve. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I have to say, though, I did feel bad. I felt bad that, my girls didn't, they didn't have the trip that they were hoping to have. So mommy came through and said, well, since we got a refund, we will go somewhere else this weekend. So we are doing that. So I have a little surprise for them. This time we're staying at an actual hotel. Thank you. Same thing, though, beach and casual sort of getaway. So, and then that's it. And then they go back to school. And I can't wait. I am desperate for my kids to go back to school. I've just had enough. The homeschooling all summer. I don't know. The masks. I don't know. We're wearing masks on, masks off. So they start school. They go to public school, and they start school September 13th. So, thank God for that. Thank God for that. They're dolls, but us mommies, we need a break. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on. That's pretty much it. When you're not on the stage for a few days, I feel like getting back on the stage is a little rusty. But tonight I was up at Gotham. I had a great time. And last night I was at the Grizzly Pear, which is like a funky little bar with a little comedy club in the back on McDougal Street. So yeah, we're back in the swing of things, and then we'll be back on vacay, baby. The summer went fast, right? Went totally fast. On the church note, by the way, the earlier fact of the day. So my kids are communion age or nearing communion age, and my ex doesn't want them to make their communion. So we have this little debate going on. I haven't formulated my thoughts yet, so I'm not going to fully talk about it. I need to think about it more, but it's an issue. I was raised Catholic, and I married a guy who's an atheist, and he I think his mother was Church of England, but he's an atheist, and he's a beautiful man. So I don't care. I didn't care. But we agreed to raise the kids Catholic, and my kids were baptized, and now we're divorced, and I have to enroll them. It's time to enroll them in CCD. Actually, my oldest should have gone to CCD last year, but they didn't have it because of the pandemic. So anyway, I have to enroll them in CCD, and and he doesn't want me to do it. So this is a hot topic right now in my mind, and it's really hard because we have joint custody. They are our children. I respect, even though I'm the mother and the mother tends to make a lot of these decisions, I really respect him as the father. He's an amazing father, and I'm not going to steamroll him with my, thoughts and beliefs. I feel very strongly about it, of course, raising my kids to be Catholic, because I believe, let me raise them this, right? Let them make their sacraments, and then they can decide what they want to do about religion when they're, 17, 18. But he is just, that's my point of view, but he is adamant on not doing it. He doesn't like all the stuff that you read in the news about the Catholic Church. I understand. And he feels like it's a really, it's antiquated way of thinking, and it's so hard. I say this to my friends, or girls or guys that I know that are, dating seriously somebody from a completely different culture or faith. This is the stuff that's really hard. These foundational issues, these, cross-cultural issues, because if I was obviously married to somebody that was Italian or Catholic or Jewish, it wouldn't even be a thought. It would be all right, the mother's religion, fine. Of course, that's what they do. Or they would understand that in America, as that's where that person would likely be from, right? That it's just almost like a cultural identity. You're Italian, of course, you're going to do a communion. You're Jewish, you're going to have a bar bat mitzvah. Do you believe everything? Nah, I don't know. But it's a cultural thing, So, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's definitely a difficult situation. If you've ever had anything like that and you have some 2 cents, feel free, drop me a line. I would love to hear it because, I feel like I'm in a little dilemma. I'm pulled because I know what I believe, and I know how I was raised and what I'm comfortable with, and what religion taught me and how I leaned on it in hard times in my life. But on the opposite side, I do understand that it could be antiquated or seem antiquated, and I understand how somebody that believes, which he believes, just on being a good person and believing in just being a nice, good, generous, kind, loving person is more important. Raising your kids like that is more important than maybe some sort of institutionalized religion, which is his point. So I see both sides of it, and it's just the freaking hardest thing ever right now. So, product of the week. Okay, product of the week. When I was in Target in Riverhead, because, as one does, God forbid, I drove out to Long Island and I didn't stop at a Target. I went to Riverhead Target on Old Country Road. I've never been there before. It was a good Target. It was a big Target, but they were all sold out of all the kids' clothes already. Everybody's such a gavone, buying everything. I was looking for the leggings for the kids. They have the Cat and Jack leggings for the girls, and, you can't beat the price. They're $5 and $6, and they last. They're not like junk. Like the Walmart leggings for kids, they're junk. But the Cat and Jack ones are really great. And they go up against any of them. Gap, J. Crew for kids, Zara. They're great. All sold out. But what I did get, and I just love it, is a Conair steamer, a clothes steamer. Hold on. Let me see if I could find the the actual one that I got. Let me Google it really quick for you. Here it is. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Yes, it's the Conair Extreme Steam handheld fabric steamer with dual heat. It was, I paid more on Target, but on Amazon it's $37. I think I paid maybe $50. But you know what? I can't be bothered to iron my clothes. I can't be bothered with that anymore. And this is great. I'm so happy. Let me tell you something. Instead of ironing my clothes, I'd rather hang them in a hot steam shower, okay, to try to get the wrinkles out. So this is like the biggest godsend ever, especially for performing. You know, you don't want to ever get up there and look like a wrinkled freaking mess. So that's my product of the week, the Conair steamer. Totally recommend. Life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. Yeah, so I guess that's it, right? Next week I'll have updates for you on this upcoming vacation adventure with the kids. I hope, as I always say, to have some stand-up dates. Everything's, sort of pedal to the metal. I'm in this pilot, I think I mentioned to you, called Wise Guys. It's I think it's like it's like a satire mob comedy TV show, and they cast me. I'm the lead female. I play a girl named Antonella Marie, very cute, and you could check them out on Instagram. I think it's like Wise Guys with a Z or something. And we just shot promo stuff, but I am getting the script for the pilot this weekend, so I get to read through that, and I think we start shooting the pilot in October. So that's exciting. Things are happening. Things are in the works. But I really do want to get more comedy stage time. So I am really working on that as per usual. I didn't hear from anybody about NFTs and crypto. And I don't know, maybe you don't want to talk about that. But if you do, again, drop me a line. If not, So, quote of the day. My ex-husband would be very proud of this quote. From the Buddha, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Buddha. It's true. What you think, you become. The mind is the most powerful thing that we have. That's just the reality situation, everybody. Anyway, it was great talking to you. I miss you, and I can't wait to talk to you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. And remember, drop me a line on Apple Podcasts. And follow me on Instagram and follow me on TikTok. And I look forward to talking to you soon.